So as a community, our organizations are going to stay like that. Unfortunately, that's why we've got 3, TV stations for the Sikh community in this country. It doesn't mean you only had to have one. The competition would have been good, but all 3 of them are dire. They're absolutely atrocious to watch. They have substandard levels of production. They have substandard levels of content, across the board. Not necessarily every single program or content they create, but across the board. And that's not a good reflection on our community. That means that we don't really value quality. We just go for it's on, it's there, it's better than nothing. That's not good. So hence why I say unity is a little bit overrated. Competition can help drive those things to a good place. And for the community, whether it's in a Punjabi sense or the Sikh sense or wider South Asian, the biggest place where those organizations causes problems is speaking to government, so speaking to power. And that's where it causes, I think, the biggest problem. Someone, it's usually one individual, one character, one personality goes off on their own little wet dream of what they think Sikhs should be or shouldn't be and tells the government that. And then government starts invoking policy on us and we all start flowing down that road. We all have to follow it. That's where I see those are kind of problems that need to be fixed. That's where a little bit of unity wouldn't go astray. And, there's got to be some baseline rules. Like, for example, in my opinion, if you're not a Sikh and if you're not talking about Gurmat, you should never be allowed on a Gurdwara stage, period. Period. I don't give a shit who you are. If you're Tantesi and you're campaigning for re-election, you should not be allowed on the stage at Slough Gurdwara to go and say, I'm Labour Party, this is what we do. Because if we do that, then we've got to let the Lib Dem and the Green Party and the Tory and everyone else go on stage and say the same thing. We shouldn't be allowing any of you to do that. A Gurdwara stage next to the Guru Granth Sahib is just for the Guru to speak. I don't want the mayor coming down to speak. I don't want a minister speaking. And I don't want the police commander speaking and all this other rubbish that we went down a road. Those for me are baseline principles, right? But the problem we have is 9 out of 10 organizations. Let's say a whole bunch of organizations are watching your podcast now, or you cut that little bit I just said, right, and put it as like a little snippet, which you're doing. Like, do that, right? And let's say a whole bunch of these organizations watch that. All of them are going to say, Salami bonki janda, and they're going to switch off. As opposed to thinking to themselves, right, so what is he basing this on? And the base I'll tell you it's on is that in Puratan Maryada, so in historically, when the Guru is there, you do not speak unless you're speaking about Guru, about Shabad, about existence, what reality is. So when we've got anyone coming on stage at Gurdwara, they should only be speaking about those things, right? Now, when we have Taddis, they're singing about those historical accounts. That's fine. You can have what is called Kavishri, poets. They're speaking about expression of, finding the Guru or trying to find yourself, merging with what is existence and reality, all those things. That's fine too. You got Katha Vachaks, they're doing Katha on the Shabad Guru and these different granths we have by Nandalal's Bani, by Gurdas Ji's Vara, that kind of stuff, Dasam Granth. And then you've got Kirtaniye, right? Now, beyond them, no one else should speak. So much so that I started, I've been asked a couple of times to speak at people's weddings. Can you say something in English, right? And I've always done it. And now I've stopped doing it. The last time I was asked, I said, nah, not doing it anymore, because it shouldn't even be happening. Now, that's technically still talking about Gurmat, just doing it in English. Problem is, if you get someone like me doing that, then there's no reason why someone can't say, yo, Ricky, can you speak at my wedding? I want you to say something at the Gurdwara. And then Ricky goes up and says, it's a great thing, blah, blah, blah. But what are you going to lean towards more? You're going to lean towards more the stereotype version, of Sikhi and what it says about marriage. And then more importantly, though, you're going to talk about the couple. And that's what I was doing. I was talking about the individuals. What the hell has that got to do with coming from a Gurdwara stage? You're next to the Guru Granth Sahib. You should be talking about, this is the highest philosophy, the deepest stuff that exists out there in writing. It can emancipate a soul from here to there. It says stuff that, the world is catching up to now. We were saying 500 years ago, what is existence? What is reality? And things like that. And it's so deep, it shouldn't be belittled to have all this stuff alongside it. But we continue to perpetuate that and allow that to happen. Now, if all organizations come to some baselines okay, we're not going to allow that stuff to happen, but then we can have, an organization that acts on behalf of Sikhs in the armed forces. And then you have an organization that believes that there should be anarchy and no Sikhs should ever vote for political organizations, like two separate ends of the spectrum. then we can have all of those organizations flitting around doing what they want.
Yeah.
But we're not going to have that. We're just going to have the status quo.
Yeah.
It's never going to disappear. It's going to stay.
Gonna go.